Next up, we're going to have Adam Davison give us an insight into brand safety. Adam?
Hey, everybody. My name's Adam Davison, and I am a product marketing manager on brand safety, everybody's favorite topic. So I think before we get into it, I think it's really important to understand sort of where we're coming from when we talk about brand safety. Earlier this year, Mark penned a letter to the community where he stated how at Facebook, we're not just a technology or a media company, but we are really a company of people. And we want Facebook to be a place where people can share responsibly and enable expression while providing a safe and respectful experience for our community, right? And to achieve this goal, trust in our platform is of the utmost importance, especially for this group here today. We know that as our marketing partners, all of you in this room have a commitment to your clients, and it's your responsibility to enable them to successfully execute and drive great results, and of course, ensure that everything is brand safe within their campaigns. So we have sort of three big topics that we're going to go through today that all ladder up into the spirit of brand safety. The most important thing to note is that at Facebook, we totally remain committed to our responsibility to create the safest possible environment for all of our constituents, right? Not just advertisers, but this is for people, and this is also for publishers and content creators on our platform. So to that end, we have three key elements that work together to help ensure brand safety across our platforms and placements. And the best way to think about this, for quite literally, is an upside-down pyramid. And at the top of the pyramid is our Facebook community standards. These have been in place for years. They dictate what is and is not allowed on our platform. And these apply to advertisers, these apply to content creators, and they apply to people as well. So a little bit more about our community standards. New content is constantly being created and added to our platforms. On any given day, hundreds of billions of stories are produced on Facebook. That's a crazy number. And we do aim to review all inappropriate content upon discovery, but that discovery takes a lot of teamwork when you can imagine the amount of content that's on Facebook every day. So today our discovery really relies on three key pieces to look after all of that content on a daily basis. And the first is community reporting. So we really depend on the Facebook community to help us by reporting when they see policy violating content. As this title says, 2 billion people are using our platform every single day, or every single month. And that's an amazing resource when you think about the amount of people who speak all of the languages that content is produced in, and they understand the nuance of how that content is presented. And one of our big focuses has really been making sure that these people, you and me, feel empowered to report content when they see something that doesn't align with the way that they think about Facebook. The second piece is automated tools. As you can imagine, with community reporting from 2 billion people, we get a lot of reports. And we need to make sure that we're looking after things that are time sensitive, right? The things that are happening right now on our platform. Facebook is a real-time platform. It really does reflect what's going around in the world. And so we need to be able to respond with the appropriate speed. And I think the second thing is prioritizing, making sure we're actually looking at the content that makes a difference and ignoring all the stuff that doesn't or isn't actually a big deal. I think a couple examples I use here on the very extremes is a lot of our investments in artificial intelligence and detecting terrorism on Facebook. There's a large slew of content that it's very hard to tell if somebody is actually propagating terrorism or if they're posting terrorism to raise awareness for a cause or raise money. And so we've really been spending a lot of time in AI to make sure that we understand that difference and that we're prioritizing the right content to sort through and make sure we're looking at the right things at the right time. On the other side of that spectrum, the other day I was talking to my brother. He's 16 years old. He's in high school. And he was saying that he and his friends love to report all of their other friends' Instagram posts. And I'm sitting there, I'm like, man, you are the reason why this is so hard, because you and all of your friends think this is funny, and you're probably flirting with the girl that you don't have the guts to talk to. But it really sort of showed the wide breadth of content that sort of comes into Facebook on a day-to-day basis from one extreme to the other extreme. So a lot of our automated tools here are really focused on making sure that we can cut through that noise and we're looking at the right stuff. You know, at Facebook, a lot of people assume we have the best engineers in the world, and you know, by many measures that's true. We have a lot of resources, but the level of content and nuance that's required here still does require a lot of different tactics besides just AI. So, and I've alluded to it, but the third piece here is human review. It's really, really important because of that nuance. Right? There's some instances that we're getting really good at doing this, you know, technically with artificial intelligence, but there's other instances where it needs to be a human who can decide whether that content is hate speech or whether that person is just talking to their friends. So we have, I think, Mark in his community letter a few months ago, he committed that we were hiring another 3,000 people to make sure that we're doing the best possible job we can in human review and augmenting, you know, our community reporting and automated tools to make sure that we're doing as good of a job as we possibly can. But I think it's important to note we're never going to be perfect, right? Facebook is a global community. It reflects what's going on in the world today, and there's a lot of bad stuff that happens in the world. We're doing our very best that we possibly can, and I think you'll see investments from us across all three of these pillars. But that doesn't mean that Facebook is a 100% safe place. But it does mean that everybody here at Facebook is doing everything we can to minimize that risk for your partners, and what I'll get to later, give you guys the tools to control where those ads are showing up as well. Cool. So working down the pyramid, the second piece here is monetization eligibility standards. That's a mouthful, but I'll try to explain exactly what that means. But really, what monetization eligibility standards do is they govern the content on our platform that comes from the amazing publishers and content creators that produce videos or articles, for instance, articles. And these are meant to be clear guidelines for content creators and publishers that tell them what can and cannot be monetized on Facebook. So if I'm a content creator, I can look at Facebook's rules, and I know, hey, this is the type of content that Facebook wants on this platform, and the type of content that's safe for advertisers. And we do this at two levels. There's a ton of information online. I'm not going to go through all of it because you guys would all fall asleep. But it's really important, and if your advertisers are very sensitive to this and have a lot of brand safety needs, I think it's a really good resource to go and walk them through each of these steps. But at a high level, we look at the publisher level first. So we make sure that you, as a content creator, are in good standing with Facebook, right? You're adhering to our payment terms. You haven't had too much stuff taken down for community standards violations. You're producing good content. And we look at that at what we call the actor level. And if you fail our checks there, you do not get to use our monetization products. It means you don't get to insert in-stream ads, you can't be part of the Instant Articles program, and none of your content will be monetized, right? That's obviously the most extreme example. And I think a lot of what we do is also at the next level, which is the content level. And that means that you as a publisher, you may be in good standing and have a lot of really great content. But that doesn't mean that every single article that you produce or every video that you upload to Facebook should be able to have ads in it. So we do this on Facebook, for example, at the video level for every single video that's eligible for in-stream ads. We look at that video and we make a decision about whether it's suitable for advertising or not. And I think a really good example that highlights this is a month or so ago, there was a documentary by a publisher about the white supremacist riots in Charlottesville. Last I checked, I think it had 38 million views. It was one of the primary ways that I think a lot of us learned about those riots in Charlottesville and the horrible things that happened there. I actually watched the entire thing. I think it was 27 minutes long. And it's the type of content that we want on Facebook, right? That's the type of content that really people love to watch and learn and understand the world around them. But there was a lot of graphic stuff in there that was not suitable for ads. I think that's a great example of a video that would get through our checks, but we just wouldn't put ads there. Cool. So the third level on this pyramid, and this is really where you guys all come in, is our advertiser controls, right? So content has gotten through our community standards. Content is eligible based on our monetization standards. And now it's the advertisers who get to choose whether they want to advertise in that content or not. And now it's our tools that are going to be able to enable that. And these tools are unified and work across all three placements that rely on publisher content, right? So in-stream video ads, where ads are inserted in the middle of longer form video on Facebook, and Helen just talked a lot about that. We have instant articles, which have been around for a few years, which are fast, dynamic articles hosted on the Facebook platform. And then Audience Network, which is our ad network on third-party publishers and apps. All of these tools work across all three of these. So what are the tools? What do we let you guys do? There's 4 main tools that we've released over the last few months that help you guys control where your advertisers' ads show up. The first one, which is the bluntest of them all, is placement opt-outs. Advertisers don't need to advertise anywhere they don't want to on Facebook. I think a lot of you guys have probably noticed we've launched a ton of placements over the last year and a half. And a lot of that is geared towards making sure advertisers have choice as to whether they want to run it in a placement. And it doesn't need to just be brand safety, right? This could be performance related or whatever. But making sure that they're only running their ads across our Facebook family of apps and services in the places that they want to. Now, that's obviously a pretty blunt tool, and it removes a lot of opportunity, especially as these placements grow. So if you think about the second order tool here, we've rolled out category blocks. So we have 5 sensitive categories that advertisers can choose to avoid, and they will avoid that type of content across all 3 of those placements. And it's important to note this is not at the publisher level, so we're not categorizing a single publisher into the mature category. But we are actually looking at the videos on Facebook and deciding whether that individual video is mature or not. And if an advertiser has that control in place, they can avoid that video if they want to. But it doesn't remove advertising from all of the videos within that publisher. They very well can remain on the other videos that aren't marked as mature. So these category blocks are at the publisher level, at the content level. The third thing, which we've just rolled out, and starting this week actually, is pre-campaign publisher lists. So very soon, advertisers will be able to see a full list across Audience Network, Instant Articles, and in-stream video of where they could possibly run. So it'll be a CSV download, and you can take that and look at all of the publishers that you could possibly run on at that time. Obviously, it's going to update as we add new partners, but we hope that this really helps advertisers ensure that they know where they're running and they know where their ads could possibly show up. And most importantly, they can use our last tool, which is our block lists. So if they find pages or apps or websites in those lists that they don't want to run on, that don't align with their brand, we've rolled out block lists at the business manager, account, and campaign level that advertisers can upload, and that we will not deliver on those properties that they put in those block lists. So I think there's been a ton of work over the last few months across all of these tools. And I think, as you can tell from the previous parts of this presentation, this isn't just in the ads world. This has been a truly cross-functional effort at Facebook across legal and policy and community operations and our business intelligence team to make sure that all of these layers are working together so that advertisers, one, have a good understanding about who these people are or these publishers are in our network and where their ads could possibly run up and what are the rules that sort of govern that ecosystem. And then two, so that they have controls to make sure that they can fine-tune that to the levels that they're comfortable with, right? We're never going to be able to come up with rules that work for every single advertiser. Some advertisers are less risk-averse, others are more risk-averse. So we really want to make sure that we are also investing in tools that give you guys the ability to fine-tune that to exactly what your advertisers need. So where are we going? We're not just stopping here. There's a ton of work going on across all of these tools that we hope over the next few months will help you guys get even better at dictating where these ads are showing up. So the first is publisher metadata. Right now, this list is just going to be a big, long list of all the publishers that you could actually show up on. And especially for newer placements like in-stream video ads, which are connected to shows that are showing up in Watch or show pages that are posting into Newsfeed, this is a totally new currency, right? People haven't really looked at Facebook pages as a content producer before. And so what we want to do with publisher metadata is make sure that you guys have information about who these people are. What kind of content are they producing? What's their audience look like? How often does their audience come back? How many video views do they usually get when they post one of these things? Content like that that can familiarize you guys and make it easier for you guys to make decisions about who is right and wrong for your advertiser. The second thing is brand safety partnerships. We just announced this with two partners, Integral Ad Science and Double Verify. I see some of them out there in the crowd. I think these are two partners that have really worked hard to make sure that they can help advertisers manage their brand safety settings across a wide variety of platforms. And we're releasing a ton of tools all at once. And I think partnering with these guys will really help advertisers, especially the largest advertisers, manage their brand safety and sort of port over what they've done on the open web before to Facebook. So we'll have a few more details on that over the coming months, but really excited to get that off the ground. And then the third thing is post-campaign publisher lists. So you can get a list of where you may possibly run. You can block those publishers. This will actually give you the ability to go then run a report and understand for this campaign or this account, where did I actually run my media? Who are the publishers where my ads are actually showing up? And that'll help people, I think, just familiarize themselves with the inventory that we have, make better decisions, vet some publishers that may have come up that they didn't see in their first scrub through this, and sort of complete that cycle of looking at pre-campaign lists, deciding who they want to add to their block lists, and then post-campaign really helps confirm where that ran, and then make more refined decisions as the campaign continues. So those are the three big areas that we're investing over the next few months. I think you guys will see a lot of announcements coming around to this. The tools have just been released, and the updates, I think, will come pretty piecemeal over probably like the next quarter or two. So these are pretty immediate. And we're really excited to get this out there and really excited to train you guys on how to use these and how to make sure that your advertisers are successful when they're taking advantage of all of these new placements like in-stream video ads and instant articles on Facebook. So I think to end, I just want to bring up a quote from Carolyn. She just wrote an op-ed on this. Because obviously this has been a really big topic in the industry. And we've been working with a lot of clients, with you guys, on how to make sure that we're all in a good place and that everybody understands what are the tools at people's disposal and how can they use them and where should they use them on Facebook. And through all of this, it's really true that trust is critical in our business. And advertisers have the trust that they are getting what they paid for in a brand safe environment is really, really important to us, especially as we get into these new areas where publisher content is more a central piece of where these ads are delivering. And here at Facebook, we really are committed to doing nothing less than delivering that to you guys so you can deliver that to your clients in turn. Thank you.